Hi friends, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge and Fixed Blade Friday. I haven't said that in a long time. This is a Sanrenmu knife. This is one of their domestic series because it's got the Chinese characters. Yes, those are Chinese characters, not Japanese characters. The Japanese use the same characters that the Chinese developed. Actually, the Japanese have 3 different types of characters. I know of which I speak. It's a Chinese company, so it makes sense that they put Chinese characters on their knife. This is the S731. And why did I have to go through that little spiel? I often get comments saying, those aren't Chinese characters, those are Japanese. Okay, sure, yeah, the Japanese use the same characters. G10, 8CR14 MOV stainless steel, which is like 8CR13, but a little extra chromium. Instead of 13%, 14%, so it's a little more corrosion resistant. It's a good budget stainless steel, if you ask me. Full flat grind, slight drop point, small light knife. Well, it's over 3 inches. We've got, I think this is ABS plastic, probably some man-made leather type material with button snaps to hold it all together. Even a little drain hole. If you're interested in fixed blades, hey, this is a nice budget knife. I think has pretty good quality, certainly good quality for the price. It's easy to get to North America, Europe, and beyond. So keep watching. Okay, before we get into the knife itself, let's look at the sheath. We've got, like I said, plastic sheath. It's got those rivets together. So you could, if you wanted to, cut these rivets off. They're not able to be undone with screws, but you could take that off and then, carry it as a neck knife, or you could put some belt loop system on there if you wanted to. It works either way, scout carry or regular carry. These kind of sheaths, belt loop systems work just fine. So you've got that option, but this is permanent change. If you take this off, it's off. I guess you could find some way to rivet it back on if you know how to do riveting and stuff, I guess. This loop here, it looks like leather. It's probably got some man-made materials in it. It just doesn't feel quite right, but we've got a snap up here instead of Velcro, which I quite like. So let's put the belt in there, the knife in there, click. So it's got good retention, no noise, which is really nice and quiet. And then in addition to that, you've got this nice sturdy snap, really good sturdy hold, no noise carry system. I like that. So decent, especially for the price. Oh, okay, I'm saying price every once in a while. What is the price on this? $25.99 on Amazon.com for American prices. That's not bad at all. $26 knife, and Amazon, you can probably get free shipping to your home. I couldn't find it on Amazon.ca, but it is on AliExpress, but no delivery to Canada, which is, that bugs me. Especially since, it's a fixed blade. They're not sure why knives get confiscated at the Canadian border. They can't really, like, they're Chinese sellers. They don't know that just because folding knives get confiscated, they think knives get confiscated. And so that's why a lot of companies are stopping shipping to Canada, because customers have demanded their money back from the seller when it's not the seller's fault. It's Canada Border Services Agency's fault. Natural consequence is the sellers don't want to ship here because customers demand their money back, even though it's not the seller's fault. So we're reaping what we sow as Canadians, but it's not really our fault either. It's CBSA's fault. Okay, enough of the rant. If you have friends in the United States, you can get this mailed to you. This has 0 problems at all crossing the Canadian border as a fixed blade. Just no issues whatsoever. In Europe, this is about 21, 23 euros. In the UK, this is about 19.3 British pounds. Not bad at all. like I said, we've got 8013 MOV. We've got jimping on the spine here. This tang of the blade is close to 1/8 of an inch, just a tiny bit shy. Full flat grind, slight drop point, nice belly. So this is a great piercing tip here. And it's a good slicing, cutting knife, being the full flat grind. It's not too thick behind the grind, which really helped it slice. The sharpener's choil is big enough. I really like that. I'm not sure why that hole is in here. I know some people use some kind of lanyard systems to tie their hand in when they're using fixed blades, but that's usually on big choppers. And on top of that, that hole's pretty small for paracord, unless you've got like 3-strand paracord, which I happen to have. That little hole there is not going to be too useful for most people, but it's a little bit of a guard right there, which is nice, especially since this has got, you know, parallel spine and belly and sides, so it's a rectangle that you're holding on to. You do have some texture, you know, this narrow strip here. It's about 2.5 millimeters wide, about 1/8 of an inch wide on either strip. So you do get a decent grip, but still, it's nice to have a little bit of a guard. You know, especially if you're piercing into something or piercing into something hard that you're trying to get open or whatever. You're at a campsite and trying to do something right. It's good to have a little guard. So a little bit bigger might be nice, but actually I do like it this size so it doesn't get really in the way. Decent sharpening. Yeah, I'll talk about more of that later. The end of the handle here has got a full-size lanyard hole. Doesn't have any G10 in the way, so you can tie paracord on there and it stays, you know, it doesn't bulk out, so that's a good thing. Big hole down in the middle there, so it is a little bit lighter. And you can take it apart. And I've not even tried it yet, so let's see. Oh yes, that's good. A T8 screw that is made to good tolerances. It's a slight wiggle, but not too much. I'm sure there's some thread locker in here. I'm gonna be safe, and here we go. Put this in there. Oh, well, I can't quite do both of them, but at least I can do one of these. I can hold on to it without having any risk to my hand. There we go. Yeah, that's a good quality screw. Let's pop that out just a little bit. Keep the cutting edge in the sheath to keep myself protected. Yeah, no problems coming open. It just had a little bit of resistance that didn't want to come open for a second there. G10 easily comes off. So, yeah, not bad. Yeah, D-shaped pins, D-shaped holes. So, well made. So if you want to wrap paracord on here, that's your choice. You can do that. Have a different kind of feel. You've got options. So I'll put this back together. And, wow, is this exactly the same size either way? No, it's not the same size either way. There is a right and a wrong way to put this. Okay, we're back. So that's the general description of the shape of the knife and everything. Let's go over the specs and stuff. The specs on this knife, it weighs 74 grams. That's 2.6 ounces. Pretty light. Add in the sheath, it is 116 grams, 4.1 ounces. Not bad for a whole system. The factory sharpness, 145 BAS, quite good from the factory. It's a little bit dull now because I enjoyed it so much. You know, I've been cutting a bit, testing it. So totally safe for me to be, you know, grabbing it like this right now. But I will sharpen it up after I'm done with this video. The cutting edge length on this knife is 8.68 centimeters, 3.417 inches. Blade length, tip to the closest spot on the G10, 9.4 centimeters, 3.701 inches. The blade thickness at the ricasso here, this flat section, 3.05 millimeters, 0.12 inches. 0.125 is 1/8 of an inch, so very close to 1/8. The blade depth at the widest point, this measurement here, it is 19.86 millimeters. That's 0.782 of an inch. So a little over 3/4 of an inch deep. the thickness of the edge behind the grind, and I usually measure about an inch up from the sharpness choil, or around the section where you cut the most. 0.46 millimeters, that's 18 thousandths of an inch. I like, that's nice and thin. Very good. The grind angles, not too bad. Which side on here? This side. 17.9 degrees here, 15.8 degrees here. On this side, 19 degrees here, 19.0, 13.1 there. There's some variability along this cutting edge. It wasn't sharpened terribly well. I'm going to sharpen it to, I think, probably 18 degrees all the way along on both sides. It's fairly close to that right now, so I wouldn't have to remove too much steel to get that done. The handle length now, 10.71 centimeters. That's 4.216 inches. And that's just the G10 measured. The handle thickness, 11.07 millimeters. That's 0.436. The handle depth, this measurement, 18.46 millimeters. That's 0.727 of an inch. Yeah, nice handle size. The grip area in here, it's about 10 centimeters, about 4 inches. Very common on a lot of the folding knives I review. The total length from tip to the very end, 20.15 centimeters, 7.933. So this is an 8-inch knife with about 3.5-inch blade, roughly. So not bad. The proportions are really good. I like to carry it on my belt, tucked into my pocket. Easy to get at when I want it. Easy to put it back. And doesn't catch on things when I'm walking past brush or shrubs or something. It just goes over my pocket. The balance point on this knife right there. So not bad at all. There's a couple things about this knife that I found a little bit odd. I already mentioned one of them, the hole right here. The other one is, pull out my screwdriver here again. I should have shown it to you when the knife was taken apart. There's a little dip right here. So the G10 comes out past it. I've got no idea why that is. Do you have any idea why? I think maybe at one point they have a different handle system on it. That could be the reason. I don't know. Go figure. I didn't talk much about this jimping here yet. Here's a close-up of it. That jimping is very aggressive without being hot. I locked it in. My thumb just sits there, doesn't move, and cut like crazy all you want. It's a good size carry-around knife. Primary knife? Probably not, but this is a very good secondary knife. It's full size. My hands are in the extra large range, and the handle comes out, and yet it's small enough that even people with small hands will find it comfortable to use. It's a good knife for a lot of purposes. Sanrenmu puts the model number on the knife, and this 2020 was the last year that they have that right angle triangle. They're going to have a different system for 2021. I haven't found out what it is yet, but for the last, I think, 8 years, they've had a triangle, and it depends on the orientation of it. That's a year system designation, the triangle, and 09 is the month. I'd have to look up what year this was made, probably 2018 or something. Certainly wasn't 2020. And then on this side, they've got a serial number. They serialize their budget knives even. What do I like about this knife? Just about everything. What's not to like? Do you have something that's not to like about this knife? The sharpening? Yeah, they could have sharpened it better. It was sharpened fairly sharp, but yeah, it'll get a nice, good, sharp edge on it later on. I might like a stonewash everywhere instead. Make it a little less reflective. A black wash would be best. But those aren't complaints. Those are, requests to do this a little differently. A black stonewash on this knife and handle, the whole thing, I think would make this knife even more attractive. But yeah, there's nothing really that I don't like about it. Good bevel, good sharpness choil, good tip, good grip for your thumb here. a good grip for your hand. The G10's nice and comfortable. You can take the G10 off and tie a paracord around there if you want to. The sheath has got good retention. I'll fold this back here like that. And see that or hear that? It holds it really well. It's a good ABS sheath. Oh, I mentioned that it's got a drain hole. Let's see if we'll get this to focus. I don't know if I can make it show up. There we go. There we go. Finally focused. Right in the middle of the screen, you can see a tiny little hole. These rivets here seem quite well. When you want to push off, there's jimping on the side of the sheath on the ABS. To hold it like this, to pull the knife out, works. To grab the blade and push here with your thumb, you got extra grip there. They thought of all the small stuff. Kydex would have been better, sure. Real leather would have been better, sure. But we're talking about a knife that is $26 US. Not bad at all. I quite like it. Please leave your comments down below. Thank you so much for liking this video. Thanks for sharing it with your friends. Thanks for helping out with the expenses that this channel has. There's links and information down below for how you can help out. Other than, you could become a Patreon supporter, or you could send money to help me buy a camera that I need. All kinds of different ways you can help. Or even just little things like using my referral links. I've got loads of referral links for different places down below the video. And for Amazon, for a great knife store, Casey Tool, for just a number of places. I appreciate any help you give me in any way that you give it. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.